Not no error.
It say live.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I would like to think that we are live, so I'm going to say hello. And if we are not live, then I'll say hello again later. Oh no, we're live. So ignore how I was looking all in the in the camera. And welcome to tonight's live case study. I'm going to be talking to I don't even know how to describe our relationship at this point, Sierra. Like homie, friend, client, sister in another color, the wrong one at that. But we're not even gonna go there tonight. We're not gonna
You
go
really
there.
gonna start off like that today?
I mean, I had to warm it up for the people. My bad, my bad. But nah, for real, for real. Sierra is the GOAT. Miss Queen, show up or
Shut up.
shut up. Just be quiet, honestly. Like, if you ain't gonna show up, it's really no need. So, Sierra, welcome. Tell the people a little bit about yourself. Some of them may not know you. So let's just start off there and we'll dive from there.
Okay, cool. My name is Sierra Young. I am a mental health advocate, and I'm also pursuing a career in mental health counseling, all things mental health. A lot of people may know me as Fancy Customs, so I do a lot of custom work as well: t-shirts, masks, logos, websites, all of that jazz. So excited to have this conversation. You know how we do when we get together.
Girl. So I guess I want to start with you telling the people, like, how did you get into this mompreneur mix, this entrepreneur jazz? How did you get bit by the bug? Everybody has their story about, how they came into entrepreneurship. So tell us a little bit about yours. If you want to tell us, a little backstory about Little Sierra, how you even got here, you can do that too. But let's just kind of start there.
So I'll say, okay, let's start with graduating from Coastal. So I graduated from Coastal in 2010 with a degree in communication. I switched my major so many times in school, thinking that I wanted to be in the health field, but I did not like science. So I switched around, and then I finally got into communication. And my one of my professors basically like read me for everything and told me that I wrote how I talk, and that was not how you articulate stuff in writing, right? So she got me all together. So she kind of helped me navigate through switching that up. And so writing became a legit passion. I've always wrote, but I wrote from an emotional place. Like I got books of pages and stuff that I've collected over the years. When I was younger, I had some publications awards and stuff like that, but I became in tune with writing because she kind of like helped me find my writer's voice. So of course I didn't really know what I wanted to do after graduating school because then the communications department was relatively small. I minored in journalism, but I didn't want to write for the newspaper, and I definitely didn't want to like speak on air. So I just kind of left that where it was and retail, and I was a office manager for a chiropractor office, and then I went to Blue Cross Blue Shield. And so once I did Blue Cross Blue Shield, I met this girl when I was working for the chiropractic office who basically was like my sounding board. And so that's when I started writing Cheers to Him. So writing Cheers to Him and getting that all together. But that didn't come out until 10 plus years later. And so working these in and out jobs, I finally moved back home after I had Chloe, and I was working for a small photography company. And I just learned a lot because I had access to the founder and CEO. There wasn't a whole lot of back end structure, so there was a lot of me learning about how to implement things along the way. And after I released Cheers to Him in 2018, I realized like really what my passion was, and that is mental health, like everything mental health. And so I really started to invest in that, and started the teen luncheon tour. And then that was the response from that was really good. I started to speak more about mental health, and then of course invest came along. Started the nonprofit, but then when I went to school, that came into play too. But the shift came when COVID came. COVID came and switched everything up because I had a legit plan of building my nonprofit, going into schools, working with teenagers, doing the mental health work and, emotional development with them. And then boom, COVID was like, nah. And so, yeah, so that came and I didn't know what I was going to do. So I hit up Tabitha.
Did.
I hit up Tabitha, and you pretty much got my life together and was like, what you're not going to do is stand in your own way. And so that kind of created the shift in everything.
That's really, ooh, first of all, it's the journey for me. So if you're thinking that you're supposed to have it all figured out, just go ahead and throw that all in the trash can. Because clearly we can cut the mic off now. That's the thing. You're not gonna have it all figured out. However, it's the you not about to get in your own way for me. So let's talk about, our meeting, what I thought was a simple plan that we developed. You took it and legit, I like to say, changed your entire life. You ran with it. Honestly, it was you really showed up or shut up. I was and still am overly impressed with the way that you just took that. So, after that meeting, what was the feeling like? How did we get here? How did you get there? What happened?
Well, I think that over the years, like, you become like a sounding board and we're able to bounce things off of each other. But I think when COVID hit for you too, you got back to a lot of the strategic work that you hadn't been put on the forefront. And so for me, it was like, okay, look, I got this creative stuff going on in my head. I know the ideas that I have, and you got all of this logical stuff that you can be like, okay, this is how you can make your coins. How can we put them together and figure out, okay, what to do? So when I scheduled a meeting with you, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know, coming out of it. But as you were asking me certain questions, I jotted notes. And as you were telling me ideas, because one thing that you said, other than telling me I got to get out of my own way, was people can't know you do something unless you tell them. And so a lot of stuff that I was sitting on and a lot of ideas that I had, like, nobody knew because I was too worried about telling people that I did it, or, my credibility and stuff like that. And so when you sent me the recap, I was like, bruh, this makes so much sense. And I was like, wow. So, okay, because, for me, it was like, how can I monetize off of the things that I know that I have the ability to do while I'm pursuing school and all of that stuff to get to what I really want to do. And that's what happened. So when you gave me my list, okay, what can I implement first? And the first thing that I implemented, I will never forget, I sent you this course. And I was like, look, it ain't but $69, but for somebody who don't really got $69 to spare, you know what I'm saying? You was like, look, how fast can you make it back? And I was like, okay. And I took it, and that was it. It was basically a course helping me understand how I can do the back end stuff of what I was trying to do. And so once I did that, it was a wrap.
It was a wrap, y'all. It was really a wrap. She just took off from there. She took off from there, and then I get this text that she hit a goal, and I'm like, wait, what? Okay, so his first goal. Then next thing I know, this is like, yo, I'm about to make 1K in a day. What?
Okay, let's rewind back, because my first.
Okay, well, rewind. Take me back.
Let's talk numbers. Okay, let's talk numbers so y'all can get the real understanding of what's happening.
About to give y'all the real.
The first month goal was $1,500. That's all. $1,500. That was the first month goal. First month, I made $3,000. Okay, so first goal, 1,500. First month, 3,000. Back based off of implementing, just starting, right? Just putting in the work, advertising what I do, what I can offer, consistently putting that out there or whatever. And yeah, so hit that $3,000 in 1 month when the goal was 1,500.
1,500.
Yeah.
And then, was it the next month or like skip a month? I really don't remember the timeline.
Well, okay,
I just
so the first month it was the month after, because the first month it was based off of, okay, I don't have to buy anything other than pay for the course and then my CRM. So how can I monetize off that and make money? So I was doing logos and websites and graphics. That's what I started out with. So after I made that $3,000, I was like, I need to invest in a Cricut. And so I took money from the $3,000 and spent, I think the bundle that I bought was $300, and I bought a Cricut. And so the following month, I started teaching myself how to make shirts.
oh, the Cricut.
Yeah. And once I started to make shirts, somebody asked me to make a shirt. I messed the first one up. I didn't know that there were certain types of vinyl for certain types of materials, and I couldn't understand why it was washing off. Okay, and then so then once I put out one order, more people started to make orders, and then that was in May. So then in June, that's when I started getting more orders and more people to know what I'm doing. Mask was heavy. I started offering that. And then August hits and I made $1,500 in a day.
Sis went live. It was a whole situation because it's the transition of that was like your goal for an entire month. And
Yeah.
so then to make it in a day, it was it was crazy. I felt the emotions. It wasn't even my business, but I was just so happy because y'all gotta realize I had to we had to pull Sierra out of her own way, especially in like charging. You just have a really great heart. So it's like, nah, we got to send these people an invoice and add some tax and add some gratuity and really show up with the price, and then you get the products. But it was funny because you got the Cricut to make shirts like for your own brand and like your group.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, what I experienced in me trying to buy merch essentially for myself, because I was making my invest shirts, I had the hype tees, and I was outsourcing, but their turnaround time was trash.
I knew you was gonna say
Okay, it was trash. And I knew that if that's how I felt about my own product, other people was feeling that too. And so I just didn't want to be represented like that. So I initially bought it to make my own stuff, to generate money for myself that way, not thinking that it was going to be anything like it is now.
customs went cray. This was I think you got your first request from like a IG story, maybe.
Yeah,
Something like that.
remember I made my birthday t-shirts. So I made my birthday t-shirts and I was like, shirts by me. And then people like, oh, so you make shirts now? And I'm like, well, you know, maybe.
Everybody in the house wanted some.
Something. Yeah.
Everybody in the house wanted something. So I think it's the next month.
The
This
next
the
one.
one.
The
This the
next
one.
one. So I made $1,500 in a day, and I talked about it. Like, I talked about making $1,500 in a day because for me, I think the realization that when you put in the work, the results are going to come. And no matter what you doing, like if you're showing up, the results are going to happen. It might not be, I mean, I didn't make $1,500 in a day the first month or the second month, but eventually like I kept going, and in a day it had me all kinds of emotional because you see Super and them and they like, oh, I made $1 million in 30 minutes. And I'm like, bro, I made 1,500 in less than 24 hours, and I just don't know what to do with myself. Not to mention that in May, I also bought myself a Louis Vuitton bag, which was not for the bag. It wasn't the bag. It was the fact that I felt like I deserved it and that I worked for it, and that because I had the money to do it.
And because you don't treat yourself, but she wasn't gonna tell y'all that. She wasn't gonna tell you. She wasn't gonna tell you that because I don't know if it's the mom in you, the humble in you, the what it is, but you was like, I don't treat myself. I'm so excited about this process.
Well, I think it's because that I never had the money to do it. I mean, I just didn't have the money to do it. And I also didn't believe that if I'm living paycheck to paycheck, I can't be out here flexing irresponsibly, as Rachel would say, because, yeah, so I decided, I mean, her rule of thumb was if you can buy it twice, then you can afford it. And at that time, I could buy it twice. And so it was a surreal feeling to not only be able to pay for it, cash, but also to get to the mindset of you deserve it. So that was a pivotal point. So then fast forward to September, after going through my finances, the numbers read $10,000 in a month. And I was just blown. Like, you're talking about somebody at the beginning of the year, right? Trent, let me be transparent because that's the only way that I know how to be. Didn't have no money in the bank. Was literally, I don't even know where the money was coming from. Making stuff pop, paying bills, taking care of my kids or whatever, to $10,000 in a month in a matter of a 9 month, not even 9 months, because I say when I bought the Cricut. So from May to September, I went from having a $3,000 month to a $10,000 month. Yeah.
You just got to show up or shut up.
Seriously.
There are so many excuses you could have made. There are so many. I mean, both of us, like, y'all. So let me just make this real. So we friends, like, in real life, right? So we were at a conference together a month before the pandemic hit, maybe 3-4 weeks. We chopping it up. We making all these plans for 2020 in the nonprofit, in the speaker world, and then came Rona. And all of that. Now, mind you, this is stuff that we had been working on the year prior. So this is stuff that we was working on in 2019 now to prepare for 2020, that then all just got shut down. Quick. like quick. Like, Sierra was in the community, hitting it hard, had done like 1 or 2 schools already, right? And it was just like, bro, honestly, it's a show up. Or she was like, I need help. Let's talk. I need a session. We need to work through this. And y'all, like, the reason that I had to bring her on was because she took the things and implemented them. Like, it's not going to do you any good, whether you're working with me, Bob, John, Billy, Joe, whomever, you get in so-and-so's program, you sit on Clubhouse for 5 hours and you get gems. Bro, if you don't implement anything.
Yeah, it don't work like that. Because you gave me such valuable information, right? And if I had of just sat on it, your information would still been valuable, but I'm the problem. You know what I'm saying? That's on me. And I think a lot of times people think that there's some magic solution out here that helps them get to where they're supposed to be. And it's not. Like, it's really not. What I've learned is that the people who are where you think you want to be, the only reason why they're there is because they stayed consistent and they put in the work. They've showed the hell up. Okay. They've showed up and put in the work to get the results. I mean, That's it. I was in a room with Audrey Richmond. You know how we feel about her.
You know how we feel about Audrey, man.
Unofficial homegirl or whatever. And she was talking about that. And she was like, people think it's like this. They always ask, well, what did you do to be so successful? And she said, I showed up. I put in the work. That's it. Like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I mean, the distance between where you are and where you want to be is consistency. That's it. That's all you got to do.
That's really it. I mean, I feel like it's the magic, and you see it in, so many other places of your life. And if you want to dive into what that even looks like as, a mom, a philanthropist in these days, dropping all types of magic in these streets, where else does just showing up and showing up or shutting up, show up in your life?
I mean, everywhere, because I feel like if I'm not where I need to be, especially mentally, if I'm not where I need to be, then that pours out into my kids. And if my kids ain't where they are, they gonna give me hell. And if they give me hell, then guess what? I can't function. And so that means I can't show up in my business. But as just as a person, I would say in my community and for people around me, I'm a regular girl. Like, I'm regular. I'm not a super. I am not a Judy or Audria. Like, you got access to me, right? People have access to me. So if I'm within your reach to see Sierra can do it, then boom, you can do it too. Because again, I'm not nobody. I'm just me. I'm just
somebody though,
and I'm just putting in the work to get where I want to be. And I think that creating this idea of show up or shut up for me really made me understand that all I gotta do is do it and not hold back and not sleep on myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you told me, I think if I pulled out the paperwork right now, the last line was like GET. You spelled it out. Like, get out of your own way. And I think, like, it just allows me to show up so much stronger and confident in so many different aspects of my life that now, like, my names are being spoken in rooms that I'm not even in, and people are reaching out to me for things that I didn't even know they were paying attention for. And it's a humbling experience, because in January of last year, the plan was, how many schools can I bridge the gap in? The plan for 2020 is, how can I get somebody to pay me $6,000 for a coaching program or something like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I got value now, so y'all gonna have to pay for the value, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. You just
that's it.
You just got to, right? And do you feel that 2020, like, okay, boom. So let's get into it. Because I got to ask you some mental health questions too, but I don't want to keep you all night. But if you had to sum up what 2020 changed about Sierra, like, what clicked about, I can just do this?
Because I didn't have no other choice. I didn't have no other choice. And I mean, I got kids, I got a mortgage, I got a car pay, like, I got all of these things. And 2019, I had to rely on help. I had to have help. And that's very hard for somebody to have help when your whole life you've been independent and you've done for yourself. And so it kind of brings you down to a level to say, things can change quickly where you need somebody. And while I appreciate that and I'm forever grateful, I knew that 2020 had to be different. So because what I said was, I told anybody who helped, let me fall on my face. Let me lose it all before I let you help me again. And so changing my mentality from, oh, I have help, so I don't have to go as hard, to now I have nothing, so what are you going to do? And it was that, like, I knew it was either show up for myself or lose everything.
It's the back up against the wall.
Yeah,
Whoa.
for sure.
Whoa. So this is a really smooth transition into the work that you do as it relates to mental health and mental health advocacy. Because first of all, how do you keep yourself together, right? And then I can ask for some gems for others, because I think around just all of the things that you have to juggle, right? As a mom, as a business owner, as a student, as a person who extends herself to others. Y'all, Sierra got on live and was like, y'all, this my phone number. If you need me, hit me up. Like, she is there for the people. So how do you take care of you in all of that?
I think it's honestly a struggle for me, and that's something I'm vocal about because I got on live and told people to call me, but then you text me and I was like, well, this is how I really feel. But I feel like a lot of times that for myself is that I give so much of myself and forget to give. I give so much of myself to other people that I forget to give myself enough time. And so
Mm.
in 2020, also, was it July that I went to the hospital and I had a mini stroke or whatever?
Mm.
That was an awakening for me to just intentionally slow down, not really slow down in my work ethic, but build in breaks into my day. And so I would always drop my kids off and come home and watch an hour of a show and then intentionally take a lunch break, something like that. So now it's the same thing. Like sometimes I can be in my office, but that doesn't mean that I'm working, because my form of self-care is just sitting in silence. Sometimes I need to just be able to quiet my thoughts. I don't need to hear nobody talking. And I just need to be able to just sit and listen to my heater run, or my heat press clicking, because if I can hear that, that means that I'm not inside of my head. And so I
Mm.
can intentionally pay attention to my surroundings and know that I'm present. A lot of people, like, that's what meditation is. Meditation allows you to literally like calm your thoughts so that you can be present in the moment. And so
Ooh.
I spend a lot of time like trying to come present in the moment for myself. And also I write a lot, and that helps me. And I go to therapy faithfully. Faithfully. And so that's what like keeps me afloat. And I'm very vocal too about, maybe not to everybody, but to the people that I do feel comfortable talking to. I'm very vocal about my feelings, and I'm
Mm.
learning to not suppress feelings. Like, I'm going to talk about them on site.
Mm. On site.
On site.
Addressing it. We're not holding it in for years and years and years. And so you said something very important. What does it mean to you, or how important is it to you to have people that you can lean on, that you can talk to, that you can go to, that are your folks? How is that? How important is that for you?
It's not optional. It's not optional. It's not optional. Because I know what it's like to not have that, and I know what kind of mindset and space that puts me in. So not having that is pretty much like life or death for me. And so
Wow.
understanding that everybody is not going to be able to show up in the capacity that you need at all times, but if you have to explain to them, this is what I need from you. And if I reach out to you and I'm telling you, hey, I just need you to listen to what's going on, that's all I need you to do. I think a lot of times people don't clearly communicate what they need from people, and they really want people to expect and understand what's going on in their mind, but they haven't told them anything. And so
Mm.
and I learned that through therapy, and my therapist just continuously telling me, Sierra, you have to speak up. You have to tell people how you feel. You have to let people know what's going on with you, and you cannot get mad when they don't,
Mm.
especially if you haven't told them.
Because if you haven't told them, they don't know. She
They don't
said
know.
it. They're not mind readers, and we can't anticipate or expect or just set this expectation of people that they're supposed to be able to be,
Right.
because it's actually impossible. So they're
Mhm.
not letting us down. We're not showing them how to treat us. We're not showing them where I guess our not even, I don't want to say low points, but for lack of better terms, we're not especially when you the strong friend or you the strong homie or whatever. Like people don't know that when you down, right?
Right. And
People,
I mean, and I think that a lot of times people haven't given themselves permission to not be strong, and they're waiting for somebody else to give them that permission, and it never comes, so they keep on waiting for that, and it don't never come. And you just got to give yourself permission on a daily basis to say, you know what, if I'm not okay, I'm not okay, and it's okay that I'm not okay, and I can also communicate, hey, I'm not okay today, and that's
give
okay.
yourself permission.
Hmm.
Give yourself, ooh, it's the permission. So 2021 was here. What does that look like for Sierra? What you got coming for him, sis? Because 2020, you basically changed your entire life. I think that's what I'm gonna title this for the replay. Sierra changed her entire life in 2021 because this is not the person. Now I told you I done known Sierra for a little bit. This is not the person that she was
um, I think
365 days ago.
2021 for me, I'm going through a shift again. Now, if you know me and if you've seen my story, you know that I change a lot, like especially when it comes to branding or kind of pursuing what avenue that I want to do. I'm not afraid to change, because
Not at
right
all.
now I'm in my last year of school, which is pretty much going into my internship, so I'll be on the ground doing practice or whatever. But I wanted to separate myself from my custom stuff. So Fancy Customs is still here. I'm still doing it. I'm going to continue to do it, but I want to be more in the forefront of mental health and communicating, because over the next year and change, that's where my life is transitioning to. And so this year, I'm planning to launch a coaching program. I'm really excited about that, and really just being more vocal and trying to help especially the Black community like understand the importance of mental health, and shifting the conversation from it still being a stigma to not being a stigma. And I know that we have a lot of celebrities and things that speak out about it, but you don't have access to them.
We got
They're
access to you.
yeah, you got access to me, and that's like a genuine thing. And I think that one thing that I was gonna post this today, and I was gonna say like, stop showing fake love, because
Ooh.
it's a lot of people who things happen, right? Things happen and they see things going on in the world, and they'll post a status like, you don't have, that you're not alone. Reach out to me if you need me, yada, yada, yada. And it's all just for it to look good. And there's been plenty of times where people that I don't know or people that I do know hop in my DMs, text me, call me, or whatever, and they're like, look, I need to talk. And I would never expect these people to be going through those things, but the fact of the matter is they trust me enough with their vulnerable selves, and that's important. It's important for us to have safe spaces, to have people in their corner that they can go talk to, that can advocate for them, and to let them know that they're not alone. And I don't think we have enough spaces for that. So I'm also working on something behind the scenes as it relates to that too. So
Just stay working.
not
I
only that,
love to
you gotta
see.
talk about,
I
coming in
love.
coming in and talking, with the Black alumni chapter, and it's a lot.
I
It's
love to see it.
it's a lot.
I love to see it because it's just good. It's heartwarming to see you operating in all of your greatness and figuring out how to make it happen every day and not being afraid of change.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of times that's the part that people, oh, what they gonna think about me if I'm posting this or if I change. Who cares?
I'll say, like, okay, so you know that I went through and deleted my Instagram. So how long
Hold
how long Instagram been around? So through
a
all of
minute.
both my pregnancies, college, graduate, all of that was on Instagram, right? And so I had to literally go through and delete 2,000 or so posts. And it was healthy, one, because I feel like I was shutting off chapters of my life that I was still tied to in some way. But the other thing is that the type of engagement and the shift that has changed in the interactions on my page is crazy. Like, it's crazy. So it was necessary for me to do that, even though like I had to clear it out. I mean, and start over. It was helpful for me. And so that's a message in itself. Like, it's okay to start over. Being starting over is as many times as you need to, because you don't know what's on the other side of that new journey. And that's what it was for me. Like, I'm now connecting myself with people who really value my mental health content, not just people who are my friends and trying to look at what I got going on in my life and be all up in my business.
That part. Yeah, it's the connecting with new circles, right? It's the just stepping out. And if you want to, we can spend a few minutes on how the club has held that out. But if y'all on there, be intentional. Sierra creates intentional spaces, right? I remember. So first of all, y'all, for 2 weeks, she's like, how is this going to provide value for me? Are you finding value? I'm not finding that. I need to find my value, or I'm not getting on there. That's important. That's key. She respects her time. I don't need to be up there if it's not beneficial.
Right. Because
now she got a whole clubhouse lineup, a whole segment planned. But I'm happy.
Yeah.
Because it's the intentionality that a lot of us skip.
Yeah.
It's the intentionality that a lot of us will just say, I just want to be up there because everybody's on there. I just want to do this because everyone else is doing. I just want to know.
That's what a lot of people doing. They just don't want to say that's what they're doing, but that's what a lot of people doing.
Sierra,
yeah, you ain't got nothing to add. You not gonna apply the information. You in the room with these celebrities and they tell you this and you not even gonna do it. I was in a room with Audrea Richmond again. And every time I'm in a room with her, I try to get on stage. Why? Because I'm manifesting that she's gonna be my real life homegirl one day. Anyway, I got on the stage and she gave me directions. She said, go buy this book. And another lady recommended a book. And guess what I did? I went and bought the books. Like, that's what I did. And I've already read it. And that conversation with them, what did it do? It applied pressure. Sierra, show up or shut up. And that's after that, I hosted a room. Well, I that's when I started building out the whole schedule. And then I sent you, I said, here's what I have in an idea as far as my coaching program. As a result of listening to somebody who is in marketing who said, you need to focus on not worried about what people got to say and just do what you know you're good at.
Yeah. You apply. This is in less than 2 weeks, y'all, because I was in the room also getting the gems and supporting my friends. I was like, I need to know. Like, I'm going to legit, if you tell me you're trying to put something in the atmosphere, like, we riding until the wheels fall off, because if not, them other people can't follow up on if you got an answer and didn't do it, but I can. Now, I wasn't worried about Sierra not applying it, but just in case she decided to not show up and show up. Accountability. I was coming through like, wait a minute, sis, because they told you had said you wanted to ask a question. You had the opportunity. Not only did Audrea jump in, Pamela did also, and I can't remember Pam's last name, but I know that she is owner of Coils by Nature, and she's amazing at just commerce and getting people out of their own way. And so these ladies make recommendations, and Sierra took that advice. I hear people get on stage, or see people, hear people, whatever, get on stage. It's like 40 people ahead of them. And then by the time it gets to them, they still don't have their question thought out.
What you doing?
You're wasting their time and yours. But we do have a question about Clubhouse. And so Whitney says, can you do a brief on Clubhouse? Is it like a podcast? I've seen many people explain it different ways. So I'll go first and then I'll pass it to Sierra. So I think that it's like Facebook Live meets Zoom meets podcast meets like
Free
I think
coaching.
those three.
Free
Free
coaching.
coaching, yeah, meets coaching
Mm-hmm.
and like discovery calls kind of thing. Like I think it mixes all of those things together. And if you carefully plan out who you follow, which the app is changing every day because now you can search clubs. Um,
You can also filter, like you can check your preferences or
yes, you can check your preferences.
are and stuff like that.
Yeah, so based on like your interest in the things that you're looking to learn and do, you can get in rooms with people that are teaching that are experts in that. So Audra Richmond that Sierra and I have mentioned a million times at this point, she is a marketing guru. Like
She like
like
she like the Jesus of marketing.
right. And so to be in her room, she's literally dropping gems of uncloned magic for the free, right? And then she's telling you like what resources you should possibly get from her store that could benefit you based on what you need. So I mean, her one-on-one is like $7,500, I think. Her mastermind is 5K. Her product store though, everything is under 1,000. So if you know you needed to do, let's just say you're an author, right? You know you want to have like this amazing book launch. She had a case study on her recent book launch that you can purchase for a certain amount. So no, you're not working with her one-on-one, but you can go get that. And if you sit in a room, they're like 4 hours long sometimes. Child, after about 10 or 15 people ask a question, you got answers to questions that you didn't even know you had.
Right.
So, it's magical, but you can, that's just one example, right? If you're a therapist or an aspiring therapist, you can connect with other people who are in that industry. You can co-host, you can moderate, you can, child, just, it's so, the possibilities.
And I think it's also an opportunity for you to show up in a capacity that you wouldn't normally show up in.
That's
Because
it.
for me, I mean, if you follow me, I talk about mental health. I get on live and talk about mental health, but I ain't really getting in depth about it, right? And so these rooms, I'm ultimately creating space for people to talk about the stuff that they want to talk about. They just don't know how to talk about it.
That's
And
it.
so it's not on Facebook to where it's everybody, but it's really with like-minded people who are on the same page, who like, you know what? I have permission to be myself, and I have permission to be vulnerable in this space. And I've heard that every time I've held a room, a lot of people say that they're thankful for me creating the space because I made them feel comfortable, or they resonate with my story or somebody else. And so definitely what Tab said about it being a collection of all of those things, but it really, at first I was like, nah, like I can't do it.
You gotta have it in there.
I still can't, like I still can't do it in a large capacity, but
Right.
I do go in rooms and find the value of what is for me and how I can apply it for my life and my business.
Yes.
I take that and then I move on. There's like, I'm not big on being in rooms with celebrities and stuff. Like that doesn't impress me, because I've been in rooms with celebrities who ain't talking about nothing. And to me, it made me look at them like, you got this much money and that's what you got to say? I can't, there's no value there, right? But if I can like listen to something that somebody's saying, and I can be like, how can I apply this for myself or my business, then that's value for me. And so I try to stay in those type of spaces, but it's definitely a valuable space if you use it correctly, and if if you're trying to find the value in it.
Yeah, I agree. Couldn't have said that one better, because if you're not willing to be in the spaces that are going to help you, it's kind of not really worth it. Which you can get on there and have a good time, right? Like there's also, as we talk about all these ways that it can benefit you personally and professional, it's some hangout spots. It's some X-rated. It's a lot, right? It's as with anything else, it has its things. But it just really depends on, what you're there for. But I definitely think that it's a game changer. Um, for me, it's the conferences that I didn't get to go to in 2020 because we was in the house. And
Right.
so being able to make those connections and just being able to create community, I think that as I get ready to launch into what 2021, I was about to say 2020, is what 2021 has for me, the Dear Black Girl brand and magic and all of that. It verified that community is needed for Black women. It verified to me that there are people who do not have their own definitions or their own people that they could just be like, hey girl, I need to ask you, I need to ask a question,
Yeah.
or I need to find my people, or I need to shoot, I just need help. Like, I have these goals, I have these dreams, but I just really don't know how to make it work. Right.
And,
So for
and
me,
you saying that though makes me think about something that I've shared recently about a lot of times people can't get out of their own way because they stuck around people that's doing the same thing as them. You can't grow
ooh,
like that. You can't grow like that.
ooh,
So when I was living paycheck to paycheck and working a job and struggling, guess what the people around me was doing? But when I started to hang around bosses,
the whole church.
when I started to hang around bosses, that's what happened to me. I became a boss. And so, it's a different conversation because, like you said, people are looking for answers from people who don't have them.
Mm,
And
mm,
when you get in spaces, there's certain things that that it might be a marketing question that I might be able to ask you and you might be able to give me an answer, but I could be in a clubhouse and Audrey could be on and she could speak to exactly what I'm looking for. And then I'm coming back and guess what I'm doing? Tab, did you hear Audrey say this? Did you hear it? And so I
oh, my
think
chair is falling.
I, I think that a lot of times people expect to grow and they in a circle with people who are in the same space as them, and that's just not how it works. So Clubhouse is also an avenue to surround yourself in spaces with people who are not where
Mm,
you are.
mm.
You can't grow
Okay.
like that. You can't. That's not how you grow. And I learned that. And so for me, even now, and I'll talk about you and Rachel because y'all are the people who that I consistently talk to on a regular basis. Like Rachel tell me all the time how many millionaires she has in her phone. And I'm like, and not just have them in her phone, like she has access to them. You told me how much your coaching program costs, and I'm like, so you have access to things that for me it's like, okay, because y'all know so it's like you and Rachel are my coaches until I get to the next level to where y'all are, and then I'm gonna have to hire me a coach who got $1 million figures in their bank account too. You know what I'm saying? But that understanding came with that I cannot surround myself. I can have those people, right? I can associate with those people, but I also need to associate with people who are where I'm growing to
Yeah, that's good.
and places where I want to go to. And so I think that's important for the people to understand is that y'all better text that number.
Okay. So let me put it back on the screen for the people, so y'all can go ahead and get the notifications when I drop what I'm dropping. Because I mean, the thing is, I've been just trying to, like, it's not even in a salesy way, and it's not even really to, like, promote me. Honestly, the people that I'll bring to the network, to the community, to the thing, it's all of that, because you have to shift your whole self to go to another level.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just that one investment. Like Sierra, like, Sierra, same goal. Sierra, no hands on. I was like, girl, I'm about to invest in this program. I don't even really, like, I don't even feel right. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I've watched this woman. Like, I know that she gonna take me to the next level, but, like, what in the world? And she was like, do it. Like, you talked about it last year. It wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right, but now it's it. And I'm like, it really is. And then I was like, I did it. And then it's like, now the shift. But not only has that shifted the way that I do business, it shifted the way I do life. It shifts my perspective. It shifts even, like, my relationship. Even when I talk about things with him, and she's just like, "Oh my God, that was really good. Like, I'm really glad you're doing that to help develop yourself." So it's just like you have to make a choice. I mean, you really staying around the same just really ain't the method
And
unless it's working for you.
investing in yourself is not always money. It's not always money. Sometimes it's where your mind at, what your mindset look like. Because there's like, if I didn't have the hustle mentality that I have, and if I didn't have that show up grind, guess what? I wouldn't have been able to make $10,000 in a month. Because there were nights where I had to, my schedule was from the time I dropped my kids off to school until 1, 2 o'clock in the night. At night, I remember when I got an order for a funeral, I had to make over 60 shirts in almost a 24-hour span. Are you gonna show up or are you gonna shut up? You gonna get this money or you not gonna get this money? You gonna give these people a customer experience that they gonna return to, or you gonna lose them and let them talk about you in the streets and make sure everybody else know that you wasn't about your business? What you gonna do?
What are you going to do, my friend? What are you going to?
So that whole investment thing, it's not always about money. And I realized that it's really like committing yourself to yourself. At this point, I don't want to disappoint myself. I don't want to go back to living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to pay bills and all of that. That ain't what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is go buy me a Range Rover cash. That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay. Oh, okay. I mean, that's that. Why did you have to go there? See, I was about to wrap it up, but then you had to say the mindset thing. Because see, it's easy to say, "Oh, I want to make $1,000 in a day. Oh, I want my program to sell out. Oh, I want a lot of people to be hitting me up. Oh, I want this, I want that." But what if you're not ready for it mentally? I mean, honestly, in business, it goes and comes. You may not ever be ready for it and prepared and all that. All that is the schematics of it. But what I'm saying is mentally. Because you want it, like wanting something sounds good, right? Wanting more sounds good, right? Wanting to change your life sounds good, but the action of it.
Are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to do the work? Because you're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to compromise. There's things that's going to be ugly. It's going to be things that you like. I hate numbers. I hate the back end stuff, but I'm going to find somebody who can help me figure it out. And then I'm going to figure it out. And then I'm going to ask for help or whatever. But I know it's a part of the process, right? But ultimately, the result is if I show up for myself, I'm going to get the result. That person is going to share their experience, and that experience is then going to turn around and get me something else. That's why people are so successful. Like, sit back and really think about, why do you use your hair products? Right? You use your hair products, why? Because they either make your hair feel a certain type of way, they make your hair grow, the other stuff doesn't do right. You've heard somebody else mention the success that they've had. And then so what you do? You go spend that money. You get your experience of your hair being all popping and stuff like that. You go tell your homegirl, and the cycle continues. So for me, that's what I'm creating an experience. It don't matter if you talking to me about mental health or if you coming to get a custom shirt or whatever made. You're gonna have an experience with me. It's not gonna be like nobody else's. And I can speak confidently to that because that's my approach every single time. And if I mess up, guess what? I always make it right. I'll use this for an example. Right before Christmas hit, I had an order. Somebody ordered a bulk of shirts. I ran out of my normal material, so I had to go to Walmart. I bought something that I was not familiar with. Used it anyway. And I said, if you have any problems, let me know. So guess what they did? They let me know. I'm going to take a loss. But guess what? Fixing it is going to make sure that that person says, you know what? It don't matter that she messed up. She told me that I clearly communicated. I
Yep,
still gave them an experience and I'm going to fix it. And there's no price tag attached.
that part.
So there's no way that somebody can dead my name because I'm still doing my job. And so my mindset is if the end result is what people want, what it took for me to get there don't even matter because I've done my job.
Mm. And dedicated to it.
Yeah.
That's
And
good, girl.
and presentation is everything to me. So
It is to her.
if
She
it ain't
she
fancy,
don't
it
play.
ain't going out.
She don't play for that presentation. She did not play about that presentation. I mean, and I love to see. I mean, it honestly made me level up on mine. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. If we don't have poly mailers, we don't send anything out.
It don't go out.
It doesn't go out until it's
Regular
mailed.
envelopes, what are those?
What are those?
I mean,
Right?
it's a good starting point. Let me be clear. It's a good starting place. That's not where I started, but it's a good starting place.
Okay. And
But it's all
because
about
I
your
mean, from
intention.
the beginning, you cared about experience. You was like, I want people to have this goal. It was like the Willy Wonka thing. Is that where it came from?
Yeah, when Cheers to because I had built such an excitement. Like I talked about Cheers to Him for so long, and there was no way like people was pre-ordering the book and they wasn't getting the book immediately. And so there's no way I could just be like, yeah, let me take your money. I'm gonna send you the digital copy and then it's gonna show up in a regular envelope. You probably done forgot about it by then, but if you get that gold paper, you got that gold envelope in the mail. Okay, we're going to the chocolate factory today.
Okay. And especially now because the whole like unpackaging, unboxing, people posting, it was I think I didn't even know stories was a thing then, but they may have been.
It
Either
was
way,
a thing, but it wasn't as popping. But I can rewind my content that I've saved, and I can repurpose it right now, and it will still be valuable because I created an experience from when people went to their mailbox and had a gold package. They knew it was from me. They knew it was from me. And I don't even like sending out like when people order big stuff, I hate sending out boxes. I'm like, somebody needs to make some gold boxes because these paper boxes ain't where it's at.
we about to get you some fancy boxes because we
Yeah,
can't.
for real. Something because I don't like that. I complain about it every single time. Every single time.
Y'all. Well, Sierra and I could go on probably for hours, right? But we won't. We won't. There's work to be done. We got to show up or shut up. So, Sierra, let the people know once again how they can get in contact with you. I'm gonna put your IG back on because y'all, she drops amazing content on Instagram. Just so mindful. It's the mindfulness for me. But let them know how they can contact you, what you have coming down the pipeline, and any last gem you might want to drop. Feel free, my friend.
Yeah. So definitely follow me on Instagram because that's where I put a lot of my content. I'm working on revamping my website, so it's not up right now, but building email lists and all that stuff is on the way. New merch and products and stuff is on the way too. So from Festy Customs, but I think for the most part, I'm really leveling up in the mental health realm because I think right now it's so needed, and it's
Yeah,
critical for everybody. So be great gracious with yourself as you maneuver through life right now because it's hard for all of us. There's a lot of I think a lot of unspoken things that people are not talking about. If you're experiencing COVID, I know that there's a lot of mental challenges with that. If you've lost a loved one from COVID, I know that there's a lot of mental stuff associated with that. And if you are just living right now, like it's heavy, right? And so just be gracious with yourself and don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Give yourself permission without needing the permission from somebody else. And then show up or shut up. Simple. Okay?
it's simple. It's
Like
simple.
that's it. Show up or shut up. Put in the work or stop complaining.
That's it, y'all. That's it. That's really it. That's really it. Really it. You can remove Sierra and me and just if I could just have show up or shut up on the screen, I might just leave that after we exit and go back. But seriously, y'all, show up or shut up. Thank you so much, Sierra. It's always a pleasure
What
because listen, y'all, on the shameless plug on the second, my day
on the second? Yeah, February
on the
2nd.
second on the Clubhouse. If you're not on there, you probably need to get on there. If you got an Android, you got from now until next month to go get you an iPhone or an iPad, right? Everybody on the shirt, we pulling up.
We pulling up straight like that.
Straight like that.
Straight like
Oh, for those of you who missed Unleashed, right? I know I told y'all we was gone, and we are, but I did get the crew together. And on the 28th, we pulling up.
we pulling
All
up.
of us that
All
was
of
at the event. So you really should like not just grab your edges, but get like the edge glue and everything, because we about to. That's gonna be a whole Black Girl Magic affair, basically. So that's it. Catch the year on Clubhouse on Tuesdays, I think.
Tuesday, every Tuesday this month, I'm having a clubhouse relative to mental health. The whole lineup is on my IG. Yeah,
Yes.
just show up to it because it's good. It's a dope space to be in.
Yeah. Well, thank you all so much for rocking with us. Thank you so much, Whitney. I can't. Their comments won't come up anymore. I don't. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Y'all give me grace as I learn how to work this thing. But thanks y'all so much for tuning in. See y'all later.
Bye.